What's going on, everybody? It's about that time for the GmiasWorld podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the Lgbt, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Basically, last night, I was laying in the bed. Miss Gmia said something to me about Obama. As of 2014, it's going to be no more, as far as like bias against, the healthcare needs of these individuals in this community. And it kind of struck me crazy because, like I said, as far as discrimination and things like that, and anything that has to do with people not being able to receive some type, the same things that someone else can receive in America is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about any place else because, various countries have various ways of dealing with certain things. Like I said, I come from a background where it wasn't very gay friendly. But as an adult, I grew and matured and understood that as human beings, we're all the same. It's the same goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Whether we choose to do something that the other person doesn't agree with doesn't give someone the right to want to gay bash or, do all kinds of bullshit and bully someone. It's just something that has really stuck with me. And like I said, being of, Jamaican descent, we were basically, my family, whatever, we were basically grown to just completely hate, homosexuals. And as you guys can see throughout this journey, for people that's listened to my podcast in the past, you guys will see, like, I have a lot of fun with it, and I make everyone feel comfortable with saying things that refer to gay things and stuff like that, but it's all in fun because the same way people run around saying, every race says nigger, it's sort of like you have to make things... I believe you have to make things more on the surface in fun and allow people to, you have to be able to make fun, but be, the type of fun where it's like, it's wholesome fun. It shouldn't be a thing where it's a complete discrimination factor. You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I said, Ms. Gmia said some things about, Obama making it so that people, won't be able to discriminate against the, the healthcare needs of the LGBT community. And it just struck me as, because I have a lot of problems with what, the president is actually doing right now as far as the middle class community, because I don't believe that he does enough for the middle class community. I believe that he's helping the poor, the low class that are not really trying to do as much for themselves. And in doing so, it's causing a drawback for the people that actually fuel the society. But I do also believe that America will bounce back by themselves, as at their own, in a lack of better words, at their own recognizance, because it's not like, real estate drives this community, and a lot of the people that have been foreclosed on, evicted from their homes, are families that were just trying to make ends meet. A lot of the people that stayed in their homes for years, I still know people that hasn't paid a mortgage payment for over 5 years that are still in their house, and they just don't give a fuck, and that's their plan. But the people that are more concerned with trying to get their bills paid, trying to do the things, nothing happens for them but the foreclosure notice. There was a lot of different, I guess you can say, like this whole modification bullshit that goes on, where you have to miss a payment and you have to show that you're late. None of it makes sense. And anyone that's logical will understand that if you make someone that wants to keep their credit good miss a payment to have to get a modification to help them be able to get through a tough time, it doesn't make any sense. You can't expect a lot of people have done it, and I know people that have done it that had excellent credit and, missed one or two payments in order to let the bank listen to give them a modification under the Obama modification plan, which he bailed out all these banks, completely revamped their stocks that were falling and gave them all this money, and they're not really helping anyone that really needs it. It's a lot, they help a certain majority. I have someone that's close to me that actually went through all the paperwork and everything for a modification, and as soon as the modification was supposed to come through, they just transferred his loan to another bank. And there's no law against that. They're able to do that unless the original note of your mortgage is on, a credit with a credit union. They can do that. They can transfer your loan, and it's no proper classification on what needs to be done. And I'm touching on that as far as real estate to just give you an insight into why, when Ms. Jumaya said that to me yesterday about, the LGBT community finally being able to get the type of health care and the kind of attention that they need to, enjoy, long-filled lives and, make sure that they're able to get checked out and just pursue health in general, because it's like a battle for them to get the proper type of health care, because people have a problem with, the lifestyle that they choose to take on. And when she said that to me, I've been very familiar with the LGBT for a while. Like I said, I was raised to just naturally just hate anyone that wasn't a heterosexual. And it wasn't until I went to college and I was in some situations where I had teammates that were homosexual. I had people that were around me that were homosexual. And I realized, like, what the fuck am I? It doesn't matter what I was taught. It doesn't matter what you're taught. At some point, you have to make a decision as an adult and understand that maybe your parents are assholes in that aspect. Not overall. Maybe your family just had a problem with this for different reasons. Maybe somebody in your family was in the closet. It's a lot of things that could cause people to have such vicious hatred. It's not as if someone has done something to you for you to hate the whole entire genre of something. In certain instances, there are people that do things and you just like, yo, you know what? I hate that specific type of ethnicity. I hate that specific type of person. But a lot of people are just taught to just hate. Just hate. That's it. There's nothing else behind it. It doesn't make any sense. And, I just wanted to address this, from my point of view, and to reach out and let people know that there are people with different types of mindsets, but it's a way that it has to be approached. Like I said, as far as the real estate community, it's like the same exact thing. If you expect people to miss a payment to be able to get a modification for going through a tough time, most logical people are going to try to do everything else other than do that, because what happens if they need to apply for something? What happens if it's an emergency and they need, emergency cash? No bank is looking at anybody with, late payments and bad credit. So, as far as what Obama has done for the real estate, it doesn't make any sense to me. And still today, it doesn't make any sense to me, with the way that it's working with Fannie Mae and all this bullshit that's happening. And then now with what he's saying about, trying to get it through to make it so it's more of a thing where you can't discriminate. That these things should have already been done. It's not like it should be considered monumental. For 400 years, people of color were slaves, whatever the whole case was, what was going on as far as discrimination. And in 2013, going into 2014, where you're actually now being forced to have health insurance, which is completely unconstitutional. And now you're also saying that, okay, as of now, the LGBT cannot be discriminated against. That's not going to really do anything. People that don't want to deal with that is not going to deal with it. You can do whatever you want to do as the government to stop it. But what I'm saying is, it's the power of the people. It's the people that have to come together. People that are just naturally running around like douchebags, hating, people that are, lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgendered. It's the people that are actually going out and exemplifying that type of natural discomfort with them that's causing the major problem. The government can do whatever they want. There's a lot of rules. There's rules that carrying a gun is illegal, but everybody that I see when I go into certain areas got a gun on them. I'm like, bro, where you buy that from? And they're like, yeah, it was this guy in the back alley, way in the back there. Like, bro, listen, it's always ways to do things. And insurance companies and, healthcare people, unless you make it a very, very high incentive for them to do it, which would probably be what he's going to do, use more money to do something that, whatever. You can do whatever you need to do, but the bottom line is, unless there's the people stands up for other people, stand up for the LGBT that are not part of the LGBT, I don't think that it's going to be as successful. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be it's sort of like Obama getting into office to begin with. I speak to a lot of ignorant people of color like, yo, man, yo, my G, we got him in, yo. Okay, dumbass. Look at the population statistics. You really think that people of color is the reason that Obama's in office? It had to be other people. The same way with the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman. Overall, with what was going on, you think that only people of color had to be able to, put all that stuff together? There had to be Caucasians and other people that were involved that helped to get it done. It didn't just happen because people of color was like, yeah, let's do it. There's never been a vast census of unity among people of color. It always has to be. That's why you have all these movies where, like The Blind Side or whatever, based on, Ord, Offensive Tackle, where a Caucasian person has to save the day. A Caucasian person, listen, a Caucasian female is always saving a person of color's life. It doesn't even matter, bro. It don't matter what's going on. Like, yo, I gotta walk to school. All of a sudden, a Caucasian woman comes out and saves the man of color, getting him to school. Whatever it is, that's the way it goes. The Caucasians have always been able to save the people. That's the whole trend that goes on. So that's just the point I'm making, to say that you need something else. Like the LGBT is, they have their movement, they have all the stuff going on, but they need other people to logically step up and say things and get something done. Because based on all the statistics that I've been reading, and like I said, I got to thank Miss Gmias for, actually bringing it to my attention, because, healthcare should be something that's a no-brainer. There's no reason that you should be able to discriminate against anyone against anyone that needs proper healthcare at any time, and just say like, oh, you know what? You're a lesbian, I don't really care. You're bisexual, I don't care. You're gay, you're transgendered, I don't care. That doesn't make any sense. So when these things come up, you have to deal with logic. I can be very, very logical, and I can have fun. And this right here is a logical thing. If you continue to do this, whatever type of discrimination, we've gone too far to where we are right now to continue to make it, like, even with the NBA, this guy, Jason Collins or whatever, that comes out as the first gay professional athlete. The dude is garbage. He has no skill. That dude is mad shitty. I don't really care about him coming out. But the problem is, to me, is why is it so exciting to know that? Who cares about, like, it should be something like, all right, you're a homosexual, whatever. That's fine. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Why is it such a big deal? And like, this guy is a fucking straight bum. Nobody really wants to use him, but now you put the teams in an awkward situation because somebody has to pick him up. Else it's like, oh, okay, everybody is a homophobe. But that's not the case. He doesn't have any skills when nobody knew what he was doing. So, it doesn't really make any sense. And it's the people, and when I say the people, I mean all of us as a majority that choose what to and what not to discriminate against. And that's what the problem is. Because if we make sure that everyone, when it comes to certain things, are able to get the same type of benefits and things like that, like, how can you tell a gay man that his spouse can't have health insurance under his health insurance? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, if this man chooses to have this guy as a partner, who is the government? Who is somebody else to say, okay, you know what? You're fucking him in the butt right now, so you can't have insurance for him because you're fucking him in the butt. You know how many men fuck females in the butt? It's the same asshole. It's the same thing. Okay, they're both guys. Okay, whatever. The gay men that I know, like I said, when it comes to cleanliness and shit like that, for the people that I know, but I know gay men that are on higher statures. There's some of the cleanest people that, you know what I'm saying, that I've ever fucking met in my life. They don't do, I'm just talking about a regular person that chooses to be, or, well, not chooses, because depending on how you look at it with the science facts, or just happen to be homosexual. I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see why. I've seen people in the past that, like, yeah, we're gonna go beat up this gay guy, and then later on it turns out that they were gay. It's a lot of different things that have happened that I've seen in my life for this short time that I've been on this earth, and that has helped to mold me. It's not the reason that I have certain intellect is not because of any college. I don't give any college credit for the intellect that I have. I give the world credit for me to be able to see these things. I give Steve Jobs credit for making it easier for, communication with, all these other countries through different types of means. I give, Bill Gates somewhat a lot of credit, even though allegedly he stole the idea of Microsoft. It's a lot of people that I give credit to for helping mold my knowledge. But at the end of the day, I had to go and seek that knowledge out. And just think about it in that aspect that I'm saying. I have arguments with my wife. Sometimes I want to choke my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, just shut the F up. You know what I'm saying? You just can't deal with it. Just so much bullshit going on. If a man and another man, or a female and another female, a transgender, whatever it is, a bisexual person, which, with the bisexuals, it's a problem as far as with the men. The men that are in, let's say, I guess that appear to have monogamous sexual relationships with women, and then they choose to fuck guys. I have a problem with that, because if you're going to do that, that should be something that's addressed up front. It shouldn't be any down low brother bullshit going on if you want to do that. Typically, that's what causes, I've seen a lot of instances where I've read it, and statistically, that's how heterosexual females, get the HIV virus and things like that. That right there, I would prefer, in my opinion, for either party to be upfront about what they're doing, because it can still be done. But, you guys can know to use condoms, whatever like that, and be upfront about it. That's something that I have an issue with, because it's just like, either way, like usually when heterosexual men cheat, you know what I'm saying? You come back, I've heard stories of gonorrhea, syphilis, things like that. When usually from the statistics, and I'm going by statistics. I always do my things by numbers. The bisexual males that have straight heterosexual female relationships also have usually been the ones to come back with more aggressive diseases. So in that case, that's something that I would definitely want to address as far as the bisexual community, but that can be done by having a spokesperson address it to them, because some of them are so confused and so scared to say what they are because of the way society is. That's what they do. Some of them just like, listen, fuck it, I'm gay, but I'm not saying nothing because I don't want to get killed. It shouldn't be that way in 2013. And I just I want to touch in different levels, and like I said, getting back to that, what is the classification of you not to be able to get health insurance if someone that you're in a relationship with and that's your spouse has health insurance? You can say no because, like I said, like, look, when a woman bends over, her asshole looks just like a man's asshole when he's bent over. The man's asshole may be a little bit more hairy because we don't usually give a fuck and we don't shave our assholes, but the bottom line is the same goddamn butthole. I don't think that you should be able to do that, to just say, yo, you know what? I'm going to just, yo, listen, this guy, what the fuck? Nah. Listen, no insurance for this guy. That's bullshit. That needs to be changed immediately. I'm surprised that it didn't happen earlier. Kudos to Obama for addressing it. I still have other issues as far as what's going on with the middle class and how he's addressing the tax situation and the tax code. We had to go through a whole big scene about the homeowners, interest tax deduction. Like, these things should, if a middle class person buys a house and they're paying these ridiculous amounts of interest and whatever like that, and at the end of the year, they want to get a little stuff, something little back. Like, all right, you've been fucking me in the ass all year. I should be able to get a deduction at the end of the year because I just paid over $20,000 or more in interest, and like maybe fucking $1,000 went to my principal. And you got me doing this fucking stupid ass mortgage that's so fucked. You know what I'm saying? I should be able to, that should be a no-brainer, but instead it goes through a whole scene where Obama has to sign this, and like, the government is all fucked, and we as a people are giving that power up. And that's something that has to be addressed. But getting back to the LGBT now, I have a problem with what I was doing with the research into it. And like I said, these are things that I wanted to address previously, but it kind of like, when I heard, Mr. Gmias talking about it and stuff like that, about the health insurance fact and the reason that the stupid reason that people give for not treating these people and for them not being able to get the same type of health care for whatever reason, it really bothered me. And the real basis of it is the growth of how they come up. As we all know, we've all been witness to bullies and whatever, any type of discrimination, prejudice, things like that. For people to, I was looking through a lot of the different statistics, for maybe 4 or 5 different sources, some from actual doctors in different states, where they took statistics of people that, younger kids, teenagers or whatever, that just happen to have males that happen to have female tendencies, or females that happen to have male tendencies, that were considered lesbian or gay, transgendered, whatever the case was. There's such a high percentage of a spike in violence against these individuals, which leads to higher suicide rates, higher, I guess, different type of things. Sort of like they use different means to show their anger of the way they've been treated. That leads to them killing other people or killing themselves, and it's a very uncomfortable thing. Drug use, things like that. And that's on society. There's nobody else to blame but society, because I can go right now to the place that I grew up, and I'll walk around. You guys know me. You guys know how Gmias is. I'll make all kinds of homosexual references about doing whatever, and I do that same thing with homosexuals, and they laugh and have fun just like that. But yo, come on, let's get a little gay and shit. Whatever, just start whatever saying crazy shit. And they have fun with it, because my thing is, I want to make people feel comfortable. I don't want someone to feel, oh man, I'm different than him. Because when you make someone feel different, that creates a different type of inner, inner self-consciousness that's usually goes to the negative side. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, my oldest daughter, I think she was about 5 or 6 before she asked about anything about color, because she started going to school. And she saw, whatever like that. But before that, she still saw different ethnicities, different, we're all one race, which is the human race. Shout out to Jersey Demick with that. But, I've always believed that. But he's actually preaching it on a regular basis. And he has a lot of different type of things behind it. But, seeing a different color or ethnicity, it was never a question, because there was never anything spoke about in the household about anyone being anything other than what you are. But, when you look at someone and you say, okay, he's doing this, he's doing that. I understand if someone that's homosexual is flamboyant, and it's annoying, because even when a lesbian is walking around like a thug with a pants sagging, that pisses me off too. The same way it does as a homosexual being too flamboyant. You don't need to be so excited. You don't need to, oh my goodness, oh my God, and snapping, and you don't need to do all that. And if I've met a lot of homosexual men, and I know a lot of homosexual men that just walk around, like regular. They got a boyfriend. Who gives a fuck? Listen, go out, whatever. Go hang out. Go watch a movie, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's why I try to tell people, let them understand, regardless of everyone that's gonna hate you in life, and they're just not gonna like you based on who you are. Don't change who you are. If that's what you are, if you like men, go fuck somebody. Go fuck a man in the ass. People can't stop you from being who you are, if that's what you are. If you're a heterosexual man, go beat that pussy up like, beat the pussy up like Floyd Mayweather just did on Saturday. You have to make a decision to be what you're going to be and go with it. Because if people continue to hide what they are, we're never going to get anywhere as a society. And it bothers me that in 2013, they're still talking about, okay, we're going to make it so it's illegal now to discriminate against the LGBT as far as healthcare needs. Are you fucking serious? That's the problem. That all these things lead up to everything that the country is, because people think it's okay to go out and do that. And like I said, leading up to what I was saying before about these teenagers that happen to be, gay, transgender, whatever like that, and they start to go through these times, these higher percentages of suicide rates and them doing more destructive things to themselves, the drug use as they get older and, over 18 to 20, the higher chance it is for them to contract HIV and other deadly diseases. It's because they're not being able to have that type of environment to know that they can express their concerns with what's coming. So it's like when you go to high school and they teach you about, okay, you gotta, wear condoms and stuff like that or whatever like that. If a homosexual young kid that's, teenager and decides like, not decides, but just happens to be a homosexual, has questions, it's very uncomfortable for that individual to go to their family doctor, to go to the school, whatever like that, because of the way that they would feel of expressing themselves. That's a problem. A lot of the shit that's going on in this world is generated based off of these little things that happen during childhood. This discrimination. You know what I'm saying? Seth MacFarlane made that movie Ted, where in the beginning he shows how people used to treat the young Jewish kids and bully them just because they were Jewish. That stuff is real. I seen that firsthand. And that's why I say to everyone, what I did, I tried in 3rd grade when I was what is that word? I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't remember right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Susceptible to peer pressure. That's the word. I got to stop drinking that overproof rum from Ray and Nephew because it's starting to take away my brain capacity. Shout out to my mom, for Mama Gmias, for bringing that back from Jamaica for me. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, again, if you guys are new to it, if this is your first podcast, in 3rd grade, I was influenced and susceptible to peer pressure. And we had a new student that came into the school. He was very, very tall. I don't remember his height. He was very, very tall. And a lot of the people were like, because I was like a comedian, I was always making jokes. This was 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, man, this guy thinks he's tough, whatever like that. I never seen this guy do anything. You know what I'm saying? All I seen this dude do was just walk around and be tall and be bigger than every fucking body in the school, including teachers. He just happened to be a bigger kid in 3rd grade. It happens. You know what I'm saying? He's like a Shaq height dude. Like already 6 foot and change in 3rd grade. Crazy. Okay. They're like, yo, man, you gotta go. You know, you gotta take care of this guy. You gotta take care of this guy. And I'm like, what? What the fuck are you guys talking about? What do you mean I gotta take care of this guy? They're like, yo, bro, man, this guy is, you know, he's doing this, he's doing that. So I'm like, all right, you know, I've always been considered like the guy that has to go out and lead. You know what I'm saying? So since young, even overall with my older brothers and stuff like that, I've always been the guy that's took a more logical and a stronger mental stance with situations. But this was one of my weaknesses right here. So guess what I did? I went to go and fucking start a fight with this guy and got my ass whipped. And like I said, I can still remember like it was yesterday hyperventilating in the principal's office. He beat the fuck out of me. I got one hit in, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got that one hit in, and I remember because we were lining up to go inside from recess. And they were like, yo, you got to get him now. You got to get him now. And me being the dumbass that I was, you know what I'm saying? Pushed him in his back. You know, he's like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck is this dumbass dude doing? You know what I'm saying? So after I pushed him in the back, he turned around the swing. I was able to duck that one swing, get one punch in. I might have got him in his thigh and shit because he was tall as shit. That dude started wailing on me. The next thing I know, I woke up in the principal's office. Then I got my ass whipped later on by my uncles when I got home. You know, that was a rule. Don't get your ass whipped because you'll get your ass whipped twice. So make sure you win the fight. Lesson learned from that, don't be a bully. Don't listen to dumb motherfuckers. My life completely changed. And I'm very, very thankful of those people that did that to me so early on. Because that still happens later on in life. You know, in middle school, in high school, things like that. You have these bullies that walk around. I'm proud to say that I'm responsible for beating the fuck out of a lot of bullies. And keeping the guys that just wanted to go have fun in school and have an education and do whatever they wanted to do. They were able to do that because of what I did. And I had bullies fucking scared shitless. And I have so many people that are witnesses to that can vouch for that. Because I had to make sure from that point on in 3rd grade that I knew how he felt, even though he was bigger. It's like, bro, why are you doing this? First of all, you're a dumb motherfucker because I didn't do anything to you. And I could just see from his face, like he didn't even want to fuck me up, but he's like, I got to teach this dude. You know what I'm saying? I got to give this guy this work. I got to give this guy this work right quick. And that was good. That was good for me. Like I said, I don't know if I had a shiner. I know he kind of caught me in the face mad times and fucked me up pretty good. But regardless of that situation, from that point on, I was a different person as far as bullying and things like that. I was able to learn my lesson. But that wasn't something that was taught to me at home. A lot of times, it's taught at home to be a tough guy. You know the one college, the one high school football player. Like, yeah, man, you got to find a nerd and bully him. And then the football player actually happens to be a homosexual, and that's the reason that he's bullying a homosexual. That stuff is real, guys. I've seen that shit too. So you got to be very, very skeptical of a person that feels the lack of self-confidence to go out and just bully someone for no reason. And I'm just happy that it happened to me early on, and I was able to revamp myself and do a complete 180 and just stand up for the people and be able to do that, because that helped a lot of other students go through school without having to worry about being shoved in a locker or doing anything. And it's so crazy to understand the fact that the LGBT people of that community have to still deal with this stuff. Like I said, being a man of color, I understand what Malcolm X did. I give him a lot of credit. Martin Luther King, the nonviolent thing and the way that it was approached. His speech was very, very good. But at the end of the day, that wouldn't have been this revolution wouldn't have been able to come to pass without violence, because it was something that had to be done because of the way that it was happening and the time and the nature of the society at that point. That Malcolm X was definitely needed. I'm going to say this, though. If they don't change this and people don't understand what's going on as far as this LGBT and the whole thing, and keeping this excitement level so high about something that shouldn't be considered so high, we're going to have a lot of problems as a community. Because, you can't continue to discriminate against people that choose to do something different in their bedroom. It just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, with the exception of the bisexual guys that choose to lead women on and fuck guys and bring diseases to these women that don't know what's going on, I do not condone that, and I think that's unacceptable. If you want to do it, make sure that you're upfront. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but make sure you're upfront. As far as heterosexual males that do it, that have bisexual males that deal with, strictly a woman that doesn't know what they're doing on the side. I have a problem with that. Other than that, listen, go fuck as many buttholes as you want. And then guys, understand that if a man is gay, that's one more woman for you. Why do you hate that man? That doesn't make it... You guys, I think you guys might be undercover brothers in the closet with R. Kelly. It doesn't make any sense. Just sit back and think about it. All you gay bashers and, the people of color bashers and all you people with all this hatred. Just sit back and understand and think about it. Why do I hate this person? Why do I hate this ethnicity? I understand. People have told me stories. I've met people that lost people in 9/11, and I was actually in New York when 9/11 happened, and a lot of people lost family members. And I've gone to events where people have talked about it, and it's like, I can't even stomach looking at anyone that's of Arab descent, because they took my dad away, whatever like that. Whichever way the conspiracy goes, I can understand that. Because if you lose something because of somebody that was actually the person that they put everything on, that's understandable. But you can't hate the whole fucking ethnicity and that whole genre of people. You can't, that's too much negative energy to hate everyone of that, because that person could be a person of that descent or ethnicity that ends up saving your life one day. And then now everything has changed. So you know what I'm saying? I understand for you hating the specific person that was responsible for it and wanting revenge on the specific person. But after 9/11, there was a lot of mindless and senseless crimes of people from India, because ignorant people can't tell the difference. People are just stupid. And that's what I'm saying. That's my point. You're going to get a lot of different things from me, because that's why it's called GmiasWorld. It's my world. This is the things that I think about. This is my take on it. And I don't give any school credit for the knowledge that I have. It's real experiences from people and knowing their feelings. And I have that type of it factor that people just start telling me shit. And I can tell you stories about everything, most relevant with a lot of different things. And I'm going to begin to start doing that. But that's going to be on the actual app that was released. I will continue to give at least, you guys will get a podcast at least once a week. It'll be a lot of different bonuses for the people that has the paid app, but I'm gonna start dwelling into different stories on different things to let you guys understand how my characteristics of my mindset was able to be developed, because these things are really ridiculous. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. We as a nation that feel that it's okay to just continuously be biased against the LGBT or anybody of any of that correlation, anybody in that party, whatever it is, just because somebody is different does not give you the right to bully them, does not give you the right to treat them any differently. In stores or whatever like that, you could just think about it. Me as a man of color having to know that my ancestors couldn't walk into the same deli to get a sandwich because they didn't serve coloreds. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then now you're making it in a situation where these same people of color just completely hate one type of individual because they choose, a man chooses to suck a dick in his room. Okay, what does that have to do with you? It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical, and it should not be tolerated. And I believe that bullies should serve longer jail sentences at a certain level for these type of hate crimes. Doctors should lose something, not their license, because they might, they might be good doctors. They shouldn't lose their license, but they should be warned, and it should be a code of ethics for the LGBT to get this type of treatment. And it should be more of an awareness factor for younger kids that are confused and going through these stages. These things need to be done, and that only can be done from the people. Only the people can do that. The government is going to do whatever they want to do. The lobbyists are going to pay for what they want. Things are going to continue to happen. People are going to continue to be in the closet. But if you make it so that it's not a big deal and everybody just gets the fuck over it, guys that are heterosexual that are confused and want to try to fuck a guy, and because of that, they try to say, oh, yo, bro, let's gay bash. You guys need to go check yourself and say, maybe I need to go fuck a guy and relax. Things have to change. And if things don't change, we as a society can't. America won't be saved. We're already China's bitch. We need to figure out a way to stop with this shit, including with giving blood. Because a guy's getting fucked in the ass, he can't give blood. He might be O negative. We need that shit. There's a shortage. You know what I'm saying? It's so much technology that can test for whatever. You know what I'm saying? To test to see if there's anything wrong with the blood. There should be no reason that if a guy is having a monogamous relationship with another guy, that he can't give blood. There's a lot of things that I want to touch on. I'm not going to go into it all today. I just had to definitely get this off. You guys could definitely check out anything that has to do with the LGBT community. And definitely start listening up and understanding that if you don't give these guys, you know, these people healthcare and things like that the way you have it, you're enabling a lifetime of hatred that should have been wiped a long time ago. So it's about time for everyone to look into the mirror and say, okay, is it right for me to hate this person just because he's different? Usually, when you look yourself in the mirror, even if you're an ugly motherfucker, you'll come up with the solution that it's wrong. Because I had to check myself also, like I said, after the way I was raised about just naturally, you know, listening to Buju Banton and, you know what I'm saying, Bone to Kill Beanie Man and all these guys and Kill Batman and Batman for Dead and all that kind of shit like that. It's all bullshit. Okay? All bullshit. And at some point it has to be stopped. And at some point we cannot blame our families and the way we were brought up. Because if it's wrong, we should be able to become logical and understand that it's wrong. And that's my point for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you didn't, you can go fuck yourself with a dildo. Have a good day, everybody.